Hey guys, welcome to my channel Hammond's Hobbies. My name's Glenn, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the full Chrome 2025 checklist, as well as all parallels, all inserts, all autographs, all relics, and I'm going to hopefully show you a visual way of seeing the entire set all in one shot. So let's get right into it. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that smashes up the like button on these videos, and to all the new subscribers, welcome. You can follow me on my social medias. The links to all of my social medias are in the description down below. You can also join the new WhatsApp group where there's about 200 members now. So if you want to do any buy, sell and trades and have a direct communication with the community, go and join that WhatsApp group. You can also follow me over on Whatnot, where we're going to be doing lots of single sales, case breaks, box breaks, giveaways, you name it. If you use the link in the description down below, you can get £10 of free credit when you sign up to the platform. So you could take part in one of my shows for free. Available for pre-order. I've put on there hobby boxes, the value boxes, and cases of them. So if you're looking to do breaks yourself over on Whatnot or Fanatics Live and you want to rip Formula One, head on over to hammondshobbies.com. I've been given my allocation from Topps Direct and I've made them all available on the website. Any breaks that I'll be doing on my own Whatnot channel, I'm going to have to source those boxes elsewhere. I've made all of my allocation available to you. If you actually look on the Topps website, the price of the hobby boxes jumped up from $2.15 to $2.30, don't know why. And I would imagine with dynamic pricing that these boxes are going to slowly creep up into the 280s to 350s at some point. Probably not right away, and especially not over Christmas, I would like to think. But I would imagine that's where they're going to go. I've made mine available for $249.99. If you look around on other websites, mine is the cheapest website. So make sure you go and fill your boots, get the boxes, pre-order it, ready for Christmas. And I just want to say this before we get into the main topic of today's video. If you do pre-order from me or anywhere that's offering this product, the release date is the 17th of December. That is 7 days before Christmas. Now, if you think of the logistics of that, if I have you guys buy 300 boxes from me, which that's what I've made available, by the time I receive them on the 17th, I'm going to have to break those down and obviously put them into individual parcels and ship them out worldwide. Some of you buy from me from Australia, Netherlands, Italy, France, America, Canada, and Mexico. And I have to ship all of those out, and we'll be shipping it during the busiest time of the year for postage. So just bearing in mind that you're probably not going to receive it on the 17th. And obviously if you're abroad, fingers crossed you receive it before Christmas Day. But for some of you, especially that are ordering from further out, you're probably not going to receive it until after Christmas, Boxing Day, maybe a couple of days after that. So just bear that in mind when you're placing your orders. But we're going to try our absolute best. I always use FedEx International Priority, Royal Mail Special Delivery, so fingers crossed most of you will receive it the day after or a couple of days after. But just bear that in mind when you're placing your order. You're probably not going to receive it on the 17th, so just bear that in mind. Right, let's get into today's video then, and I want to share with you guys what has taken me about a week. Many of you have reached out to me and said, Glenn, when are you going to talk about the new Chrome set? When are you going to talk about the full checklist? Why haven't you done any content regarding it? And that is because Topps released this image, has all their pack odds and stuff on there. And I actually found it quite, I would say, not confusing, but when you're looking at it just as one lump sum, which I'll share with you on screen here, when you're looking at it like this is the full checklist, which, you know, that's pretty easy to understand. I think they've laid it out pretty clearly. But then you also have their actual pack odds. Well, the reason why this becomes complicated very quickly is you'll notice that they actually have about 7 different products at the top here. So that means you have like 7 different pack odds. And to get your head around what you can hit in what products and what the hit ratios are and the odds, it actually gets really complicated really quick, especially if you want to talk quite confidently. Now, I'm somebody, there's only a few of us, but I'm somebody in the space that people go to and say, Glenn, look, I've hit this, what is it? And that they expect from me for me to be an expert and say, that's a blue checkered flag out of 199 from, you can only hit those in the hobby boxes, blah, blah, blah. And the only way I'm going to know that is if, one, either I just memorize everything that's on here, which, as you can imagine, would be very difficult, or to rip it and just learn from experience. So I thought, right, I need to find a compromise in the middle so that once this set comes out, I can hit the ground running and everybody knows what they're chasing and everything. So I have created a juicy spreadsheet. You guys know I love a spreadsheet. This looks very basic, but trust me, I'll show you what I've done in a second. And I will make this full checklist available for everybody to download or have a share link so you can use this yourself at home. And if you're looking to break, or maybe you're already a breaker over on Whatnot or Fanatics, you're more than welcome to download this checklist. So you've got the full checklist with all the parallel odds and all the pack odds and everything right in front of you before you've even ripped open your first box. So hopefully some of you find that useful. If you do, all I ask, smash the like button up and drop us a follow. Right, so let's have a little look at the full base set. I'm going to try and talk as quick as I can because otherwise this video will be 2 hours long because there's a lot to get through. The way that the base set is laid out, we have all F1 drivers featured from 1 to 20. The rookies include Kimi Antonelli, Liam Lawson, Isaac Hajar, Oliver Bearman, and Gabriel Bortoletto. Something to note, Franco Colapinto is not a rookie in this set. He was in Eccellenza last year, so they've not given the rookie logo, which is a shame because this is his first full year set. We then have F2 driver portraits, as we always do every year. And a new addition for this year is F3 drivers. Now, some people in the community don't like this. They're frustrated that F3 have been added into this because they feel that it's going to make it harder to hit F1 driver portraits and stuff. But they've replaced the car images with these portraits. I think that's a plus. I think that's a good thing. I don't know about you guys, but most of us don't really care or like collecting F2 car images. So they've done away with that. There's no F3 car images either. So it's literally just first 72 cards out of the 200 base set are all portraits of drivers. Now, I think this adds a bit of longevity, a little more value long-term wise into this product. Now, we all know that 90% of these guys won't make it into F2, they won't make it into F1, they won't get to a midfield team, and they won't get into a top 4 team. We know that. But there will probably, over the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years, one of these may. And what will happen is, in 6 years' time, people will go, oh, what is Callum Voisin's first image or whatever, or F3 driver, and they will go back to this set and try and hit their autograph from this set. Most of these autographs are probably going to be worth £5 to £10, but we don't know who's going to work their way up. If you look at Oscar Piastri, for an example, a lot of people are now going back and ripping Chrome 2023 because Oscar Piastri is a rookie in that set. And then a lot of people are now collecting the 21 and 22 F2 images of Oscar Piastri. Now, he's somebody that has gone from being an F2 driver when we started collecting these sets, if you've been here for a few years like I have, to obviously he's worked his way from F2 straight into obviously F1, and he negotiated straight into a top team, and it just so happened as he joined McLaren, they became good. One of these guys may work their way into that field and up the grid over the next few years. So some of these drivers may increase in value, but for the majority of these, they're going to drop off. So we know they're not going to be worth a lot, but I believe it will give a reason why people come back to this product years down the line. And some of your cards that you collect now and put in binders or grade or whatever and tuck away, maybe one day is a huge card for somebody in the future. Who knows? So after the portraits of all of the F1, F2 and F3 drivers, we have the F1 car images. So it's only F1 car images in this entire set. So there's 20 of those. We then have Grand Prix winners, which luckily for 2024, because remember the Grand Prix winners are based on the years before results, we had quite a mixed field of winners, which gives us a variety of top F1 driver cards. We want more F1 driver portraits and car images. So we've got Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri. All of those are extra F1 driver images. We then have pole positions. Again, we've got 5 different pole positions. So 2024 was a pretty good year for variety. The year before that, Max won everything apart from one race. So this is a nice mixture of variety of the top tier drivers. We then have Grand Prix driver of the day. So there's one for each of the races for 2024. Featuring again a nice variety. We've got Carlos Sainz, Oliver Bearman, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and something to note, Daniel Ricciardo is in this set as well, and Zhou Guanyu. These are going to be their last card images. We then have award winner cards. So we've got Red Bull for obviously winning the drivers title, and Lando for the constructor title for McLaren, if I'm not mistaken. We then have F1 legends. This is the most amount of legends that we've seen in a set, other than sort of Eccellenza and the F1 75th anniversary edition from the Fnatic store, and those were going for like £700 a box on their own, and that just featured legend. So really good to see all the legends here. I know many of you that are collecting these cards, some of you are only interested in legends. And it's nice to see that Ayrton Senna has made a comeback. He hasn't been in the other sets leading up to this point. So Ayrton Senna's made a comeback, along with obviously being in Dynasty. We then have F1 Duo cards. So this is both the drivers featured on one card. Probably going to look like Coalition cards from 2022, where they're both sort of side by side, I would imagine. We then have team logos. Team logos are back. Come on, baby. Who loves the team logos? Comment down below. So one card, one image for each of the team logos. There's 10 of those. We've got F1 on the move. I believe these are all either teams or drivers that have switched teams or team names. And then the last 10 images are team bosses. So we've got the 10 team bosses. This could be potentially, unless he comes back, which I think he will, Christian Horner's last card. So any of you Horner lovers out there, this might be your last one. And that is the 200 card base set. We then have image variations, and these numbers are actually the same as their portraits at the beginning of the checklist. So it's going to be quite hard to tell which ones are these, unless they're very different to the portraits. Then it'll be hard to tell these apart. But we'll get onto the odds in a second, because they're quite hard to hit. So you'll probably know when you hit one, because they won't come up as often as you may think. That is the full checklist. That is, if you just want to know a bit about the 200 card checklist, that's it. We're done. I'm now going to move over to why this has taken me a week to put this complete spreadsheet together. And I'm going to make this available so all of you guys can use this if you want to at home. Today, I'm just going to talk about the Chrome Hobby Box. I'm going to do a separate video for the Value Box. And I'm also going to do a separate video for the Diamond Pack, which comes in the Hobby Box. You get one pack per box, but I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. Then we'll do one for Logo Fractor and one for Sapphire once we know the release date schedule for those. Today, we're just talking about Chrome Hobby, what you can expect from box breaks, case breaks, what the parallels are, what the best inserts are to collect, and obviously your autograph chances. So let's head on over to my Chrome Hobby 2025 spreadsheet. Now, it looks like I've just been sick on the screen, but I'm going to explain this. So down the left hand side, we have got the full 200 checklist. which I've already gone through with you just now. So we've already talked about that. We don't need to talk about the checklist anymore. What I wanted to show you was that I've actually worked out all of the different variations that you can complete the base set in, and what the pack odds are of you actually hitting these parallels. So this is what you can complete the full 200 base set in. You can hit them in base, refractor, checkered flag, and the checkered flags are the main theme of these hobby boxes. We have the black and white laser refractor, which is a new refractor style. I don't know what that means, but we'll have a look. I assume it's got lines going across it or something. So we'll see what they look like in these chrome hobby boxes. I always like to complete sets of whatever the new thing is for that year, so I will probably try and put a set of those together. You have teal, which is a new colour parallel for this year. We have pink, pink checkered. We then have aqua, aqua checkered, blue, blue checkered. You see a theme going through it. Green, green checkered. And then we've got in the middle 75th anniversary refractor edition, which I believe is going to be an out of 75 parallel. That would make sense. We then have gold, gold checkered, orange, orange checkered, black, black checkered, red, red checkered, and Superfractor 101, and the printing plates. The printing plates have 5 different colours this year. So for any of you that don't know, to make the cards up, they have these printing plates which stamp a colour on each. When you combine all of those colours together, they're the images that we see on the final product. There's 5 printing plates for every single image. So in theory, even though the printing plates are one of ones, there's actually 5 colour versions of each, which means in theory it's an out of 5 hit, but people tend to really like the reds out of 5, so printing plates are usually, I'm going to say, valued at around in between black and red. We have obviously superfractors, which are the biggest chases in the set. The superfractor parallel from Chrome is by far the best looking one of one in any set across the entire Topps product line. So these are very hot ticket items, usually worth well over £1,000 for every image. Obviously, if you get top tier drivers, especially in certain images, then they can be worth anything up to 30, 40, 50,000 pounds. So they're all the different parallels that you can hit. Now, what I would say, if you are looking to complete a set of a parallel in this Chrome 2025, I would recommend straight off the bat, to make your life easier, I would go for a checkered flag version. If you actually look at the hit ratios, I've put here the odds of you hitting them per pack, because that's what Topps have disclosed on their checklist. But then I've also divided that by the box, because there's 20 packs in a box, so it's quite easy to work out. I've worked these all out manually myself. I haven't used a formula, so I've sat there with a calculator and done each one of these. It would have been easier to use ChatGPT or formulas, but I actually wanted to take it in, absorb it, and realise the nuances between the different sets. Whereas if I just looked at this and read it on the screen, you guys would probably switch off. But what I can tell you as an overview of doing all of these odds is that the checkered flags are going to get hit more than the solid colour versions. So for example, a pink parallel won't come up as often as a pink checkered flag. The checkered flags have a better pull ratio. That is because the checkered flags are exclusive to the hobby boxes. The solid parallel colours are diluted across 2 different print runs, the hobby boxes and the value boxes. Now, admittedly, the value boxes have a lower hit ratio of hitting some of the solid colours because their exclusive are ray waves. But the checkered flags will appear more than the solid colours. So if you want to complete the 200 base set in aqua, I would recommend that you go for the aqua checkered flag version. Now, something that you may have noticed, some of you eagle-eyed viewers, I haven't mentioned what the parallel numbers are. That's because Topps haven't disclosed that yet, and if they have, I haven't seen it. So if they have, please comment down below and let me know where I can go to get those. But if I had to guess, as somebody that's been collecting Topps F1 cards now for about 5-6 years, I would say that the teals are probably going to be out of 299, maybe even 399. Pinks will probably be out of 299. Aquas are going to be out of 199. Blues are probably going to be out of 150. Greens will probably be out of 99. Then we're going to have the, I predict the 75th anniversary set are going to be out of 75. We then have gold are probably going to be out of 50. Oranges are going to be out of 25. Blacks are going to be out of 10. Reds are going to be out of 5. And superfractor and printing plates are 1 of 1s. So that is the full parallel hit ratio and the pack odds and every single parallel that you can hit in Chrome Hobby. But this is where this set gets insane. Insane. I'm just going to say this straight off the bat. Many of you, most of you, including myself, will not complete an entire set of this. The base set, sure. Couple of the most common inserts, sure. But there are so many short print inserts in this set. It is ridiculous. You either are going to have to take part in lots and lots and lots of case breaks of this, or you're going to have to spend a lot of money buying the hits off other people on eBay, and obviously places like the Facebook group, which you can join. There's 7,000 members in there, always talking about buy, sell and trades, or the WhatsApp group. The links to both of those are in the description down below. So what am I talking about? Let's have a little look. So we've already gone through the entire base set. And as you can see here, the parallels along the top follow us. So whenever you see a colour along the side here, you can easily look up and see what colour parallel that relates to. Most of these inserts you can hit in either refractor or superfractor, but there are some nuances. So we've got the image variations. These are the 10 images that I showed you guys just a little while ago. These come in refractor format, I'm going to guess, and they are hard to hit. They are 1 per 12 cases. I think they're going to appear more often than that because that is very low. If that is true, these are super hard to collect, so they will hold value. So if you see a breaker who's pulled a refractor of a card and it looks like Yuki Tsunoda, but instead of his base portrait looking like this, he's like this, or doing that, or holding his helmet, or something like that, and you've not seen it before, just say to that breaker, hey, that image that you just went past, is it card number 2? If it is, I know what the portrait looks like. That isn't it, so it must be an image variation. Okay? It's a short print version of their portraits, usually. So that is the full checklist with the image variations. We're now moving into the insert sets. The insert sets over the years typically have been around 3 to 4 different insert sets in flagship, chrome, sapphire, logo fractor. They've typically had sort of between anywhere. Chrome 2020 had two insert sets. Then they started going up to 3, 4, 5. This one is insane. By the end of this video, you'll know what I mean. So the most common insert that you're probably going to collect are these next 3 or 4 that I'm going to mention. You've got 1975 speed wheels. There's 10 different drivers on here. Usually the way Topps do their inserts is they try to evenly balance out the drivers. So it's not just all like Max, Lewis, Lando, Oscar, like in every single insert set. They try and mix them up. So you'll notice some drivers in one set, but not in another, and vice versa. So we have the speed wheels. You can actually pull those in base refractor. You're going to see 2 of those per box, and you're going to see 24 in a case. So you're going to see multiples in even just the very first case break that you ever watch. You're going to see multiples of each one of them. You can hit them in aqua refractor, blue refractor, green, the 75th anniversary edition, gold, orange, black, red, and superfractor. You'll notice there, the ones that are actually missing are all the checkered flag versions. So you can only pull the checkered flags in the 200 base set. You can't complete the inserts in checkered flags. So if you do want that sort of continuity, or whatever the word is, that flow of having the same parallel across the entire set, you're going to have to pick one of these solid colours. But these only go up to the first few insert sets, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. The next one we have is Ace of Trades. If I have any images of any of these, I'll put them up on screen here as I'm going through it so you can see what I'm referring to. We then have Floor It, again, 2 per box, 24 per case. We then have the Helmet Collection. Now the Helmet Collection is the most popular insert set probably of all time in F1 cards, but especially obviously for last year, and in Logo Fractor and Sapphire. They've made them quite common in this set, so the base versions of these you're going to see pop up quite a lot. Again, 2 per box on average, 24 in a case break. And in there, you've got 10 different drivers. Probably my favourites, Lewis Hamilton with that yellow iconic Ferrari helmet. We've got Lando Norris, Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar, and some of them have even got duplicates from last year. So you could collect both of their helmet collections from both years. You can hit those in blue, aqua, green, 75th, gold, orange, black, red, Superfractor as well. We then have Speed Demons, again, same hit ratios. I'll put an image up on screen here, exactly the same parallels. And then we have the F1 Chrome Diamond Drives. This is like the Art Duo cards from a couple of years ago. Essentially, it's like a little tribute card to that Grand Prix. So we have Canada, Britain, Japan, Miami, Brazil, Chinese, American, and United States, and Vegas, and Miami. So America have 4 of these anniversary diamond drives. But with these, oddly enough, you cannot hit them. You'll notice that my parallel sheet here is blank. That's because you can't hit these in parallels according to the TOPS checklist. But these are quite common. You're going to see 2 of these in a box, again 24 in a case. So you're going to see a lot of these. So everything I've just mentioned up to this point, up to right now, I would consider, if you're looking to complete a set of this with your son or just for fun, you know, as something that you enjoy doing, I would recommend that you complete the entire base 200 set, and then you go for all the inserts that I've just mentioned. So that is the Chrome Diamond Drives, Speed Demons, Helmet Collection, Floor It, Ace of Trades, and Speed Wheels. Now that is 6 different insert sets, which already is the largest Chrome set probably that we've had. Chrome 24 did have quite a lot of short prints, but already that's a large amount of inserts. But wait, we're not even halfway there yet. We then have what I would consider as SPs, or short prints if you're new into the space. That means that these cards are rare. They're hard to hit. Even if they're not numbered, they come up so far and few between that they hold quite decent value, because people around the world will want to complete a set of them, and they're only hit once every now and then. So we have Futuro, which is only 5 cards. We've got 5 rookie cards: Liam Lawson, Kimi Antonelli, Oliver Bearman, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Franco Colapinto. So Isaac Hadjar didn't make it into that set for some reason. But that is going to be, on average, 1 in a case. So in a whole box, a case of 12 boxes, you're going to see 1 of these Futuros on average, roughly. We then have the Neo Nations. Again, there's 9 cards in that set. A mixture of different F1 drivers, and that is going to be a 1 per case hit. So that's going to be a case hit. So those 2 sets are going to be a bit more of a challenge to put together, but still achievable for most of us. And something to point out is that these next sort of short print case hits that I'm referring to, you cannot hit them in parallels other than Superfractor 1 of 1s. You cannot hit them in any of the other colour variants, according to the TOPS checklist that has been released. We now move on to the chain. The chain has 10 images, and the odds of you finding one of these are 1 per 2 cases. So we've doubled the difficulty in this set. Again, you can't hit any parallels of this other than superfractors. We then move on to helix. Now this becomes a bit more of a challenge because the odds of you hitting one of these are 1 per 3 cases. So you'd have to take part in a 3 case break to hope that you hit one of these cards. And there's 20 of them. Ay, ay, ay. So this is a tough set to put together. Now, usually with like really short print and hard to hit cards, there might be 5, 7, 10, maybe 12. But this is 20. So 20 hard to hit helix cards. I'll put an image up on screen here. Looks pretty cool, actually. I quite like the background. Again, you can only hit that in the base version or superfractor. That's it. We then move on to Ultrasonic. Ultrasonic was a really cool short print set that came out, I think it was either last year or Chrome 23. I can't remember which one, but it sort of had an anime style artwork of the drivers as they were walking with their helmets on and that. Really cool artworks. I'm glad to see it back. And they've actually included F1 drivers and a couple of legends. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with if they do like an anime style effect in the background with some F1 legends. I think they'll be really popular. But there's 14 of these in total. And I can tell you, I've been trying to collect the Ultrasonics from last year's set, and I've only collected about 3 or 4 of them. They're really hard to come across, especially of the higher end drivers. And if you do find them, people are asking a premium because they are 1 per 5 cases. So that is going to be, again, another tough set to put together. But we're not finished there. We're going to keep going. We've got Vegas at Night. This is a exclusive for the hobby boxes. Oh, I have to say, actually, the Ultrasonics and the Helix are all, and I think the Neo Nations, maybe the chain, they're all exclusive to the hobby boxes. You can't hit them in the value boxes, but I'll do a separate video for what you can hit in the value boxes. All you need to do is subscribe, tick the little bell notification. You'll get a ping when I upload that next video. We have Vegas at Night. Now, there's only 5 images in that one. So again, even though this is a hard to put together set because it's a 1 in 8 case chance, there's only 5 of them. So by the time people from all around the world are ripping multiple cases, it shouldn't be, it's going to be hard, it's going to be expensive to put them together, but not as bad as collecting like 20 or 30, so that because there's only 5 of them. We then have the Grid. Now the Grid was one of the most expensive inserts from, I believe it was last year's set, 2024. They're still to this day really expensive. That's because they were like, it was either 1 in 10 or 1 in 12 case chance of hitting one. Really hard to hit the Grid cards. Even to this day, I've only got 2 or 3 of them myself out of, I think there was like 10 of them. So really tough set to put together. And if you can get a PSA 10 one, they go for big bucks. Well, the Grid has made its comeback and it's still as hard as ever to hit. The odds of hitting one are 1 in 2,400 packs, which is 120 boxes, which on average is 10 cases. 1 in 10 cases. You can only hit it in normal base or superfractor. That's it. No other parallels in between. But we're still going. We've then got the F1 75th anniversary logo set, which I'm going to guess and say that it's a bunch of, it's got all of the F1 drivers plus the 10 teams, and it's going to have 75th anniversary like logo printed across it. Maybe they'll look like the logo fractors. I don't know. Now, this isn't the logo fractor set. Logo Fractor has its own box coming out called the Logo Fractor Mega Box. So that's something I'm going to do a separate video on. But you can hit in this product F1 75th anniversary logo cards. These are 1 per 9 cases on average, and there's 30 of them. So again, a huge set to try and put together. Now these you can actually hit in base versions, black, which I'm going to guess are out of 10s, red out of 5, and superfractor 1 of 1s. So you've got some actual variety with those that you can actually collect together. This is why I said at the start of the video, if I was you, I'd pick a set that you like the look of and that you feel that you can achieve, and really go for that set. Don't worry about all the others, because your mind's just going to get too bogged down with, oh, I need that, and you're only going to half collect a lot of the sets. We then have the Growl. The Growl cards are something that Topps have never done before in an F1 set. So what we've got here, I'm going to put an image up on screen of the 3 images that you need to compile together. There's 3 drivers and they each have 3 images, them looking at different angles, and when you put all 3 together, you will be able to go to, and I've included it in the spreadsheet for anybody that downloads this spreadsheet that might end up hitting all 3 of them. I've put the actual website that you need to redeem the code once you get all 3 of the Growl cards together. Now, once you get all 3 together, you will be able to redeem them for a autograph version of the card, which already has its desirability. But they're also going to be doing runner-up prizes where you can pick a race for next year in 2026 and they will give you Grand Prix tickets. That is insane. That means that these Growl cards, even if there was no prize to be added to them, they are a 1 in 25 case hit. That means if you wanted to collect all 3 of the Max Verstappens and you got so lucky, on average you could take part in 75 cases and hit all 3 of them, if you were lucky, on average. But the odds, even if you did that, the odds are you're going to hit a Max, you're going to hit a Lando, and then you might hit Charles Shells. That's what's going to happen. So this adds a bit of game theory to collecting this set or opening the boxes, because not only are the cards going to be desirable because they're hard to hit, that would be enough as it is. High-end guys will want to buy all 3 of these and put them together as it is. People like Jeff Crypto and Peter Warman, they collect high-end stuff and like to put sets together like that. So they're probably going to want to buy these cards off somebody, whoever hits them anyway. So already, in my mind, these cards are worth over £1,000 each. Then once you redeem them, you're then getting an autograph version, which I would estimate, because all 3 of them are top drivers, is going to be worth a few £1,000s for that autograph version as it is. And then you've got that chance of hitting F1 driver race weekend tickets. So in my opinion, these in theory could be worth up to $10,000, not each, but I'm saying as a set put together. So there's going to be a lot of desirability in chasing the Growl cards. But it's really cool that Topps have thought outside the box this year and they're actually including something different. I think it adds a bit of game theory. What I imagine is going to happen is, if you get 3 guys that have all hit a Max Verstappen Growl card, somewhere, somehow, those 3 all need to agree who's going to buy the other 2 off the other people. Because what if all 3 of them want it? Or they can become like a consortium, all 3 of them together, and then they can redeem it as one. That's probably not going to happen, but it could happen. If 3 people thought, do you know what? We've got a chance of hitting this 1 of 1 or some Grand Prix tickets. Let's submit it together, and that way it don't cost us nothing because we all hit it in breaks. Or you're going to have to sell it to someone who has the other one. You know, so it's really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these Growl cards. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment down below. I would love to take my wife to the Singapore Grand Prix and sit there and say, I pulled this in a break. And like I say, I've included the link. You can't hit these in superfractors or parallels. They just come as they are. But like I say, 1 per 25 aces. We now move on to autographs. So that is all of the insert sets, all of the short prints that you can pull in Chrome Hobby 2025. We're now moving into the autographs, but there is still a lot to get through. So please bear with me. Thank you if you've stuck around this long as it is. We have chrome autographs. We have one for each of the F1 drivers, F2 and F3. Team principals and also some legends in there. Some of you may complain that there's F3 autos in here, but as long as there are a couple of F1 drivers in a case, that's always been the case. If you look at cases of Chrome 2020, there's normally one autograph per every other box, so 6 in a case. Out of those 6 autographs, one of them's normally a team principal, a couple of them are normally, or at least 3 or 4 of them are normally F2 driver autographs. So then you're only hitting 1 or 2 F1 driver, and then you have to hope that out of those F1 drivers that it's one of the top tier ones. So that's always been the case, and that's the case with Chrome 21, 2, 3, 4, and obviously now 5. So what the other boxes are made up of is almost irrelevant, whether they're F2, F3, legends, team principals, reserve drivers. It don't really matter as long as there are some F1 driver autographs in, say, a case, then I'm all for it. You can hit these in base refractor versions. You can hit green, gold, orange, black, reds and superfractors in the autographs. Obviously they're the higher up parallel. So they're all the Chrome F1 driver autographs. Then we have the 75th 1975 speed wheel signatures. There's only 8 of these. So this is going to be the same insert set but with F1 driver autographs on there. 1 per 25 cases on average. We then have Futuro Chrome autographs, which have F1, F2 up and coming drivers. Again, these are 1 per 25 cases. I think I need to update these actually. Some of these autograph ones, I don't know if I've finished working them all out. We then have Circuit Master autographs. These are your legend autographs, and from what I've seen so far, the odds of hitting one of these are pretty fairly decent in comparison to some of the other autographs. So I think in a case we're going to see an F1 legend and then maybe an F1 driver, and then the rest will be made up in F2 and F3 drivers. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens when we start ripping them. We then have the Diamond 75th anniversary autographs. These are really hard to hit, and there is one for most of the F1 drivers and a couple of legends. My man Mika Häkkinen's made it in there, along with Kimi Räikkönen, David Coulthard, Jackie Stewart and Gerhard Berger. And then probably one of the biggest chases in the set, whoever hits this is going to be laughing. This is the on-card autograph of Lewis Hamilton. You cannot hit it in a base version, but you can hit it in red out of 5 and Superfractor 101. The odds of you hitting this card, bearing in mind there's only one of them in the whole world, and there's only one in the set, so it actually gives us a clear correlation to ideally how many packs and boxes that they're printing for this set. For Chrome hobby boxes, there will be 1.4 million packs, which if you divide that by 20, because there's 20 in a box, that gives you just under 75,000 boxes, which if you divide that by 12, because there's 12 in a case, that gives you 6,200 cases. And this is just for the Chrome hobby box. We also have its own print run for the value boxes. I'll get onto that in another video. Now, usually in these sets, that's it. We've had the inserts, then we have the autographs, and that's it, we're done. But no, this I told you this set's insane. We've got relics. These are the Diamond Anniversary relics. The odds of hitting one of these are 1 per 570 cases, so ridiculously hard. Probably only going to find 1 or 2 of these per driver, but you can only hit these in base in the Diamond Relic. We then have F2 Diamond Relics, which have the exact same parallel odds. We then have F3 Diamond Anniversary Relics, up to 72 in total of these Diamond Relic cards. And that brings us to the end of the set. I told you there was a lot to get through. So if you add up all those different insert sets and categories, that is why I said it would be very difficult for most of us to put together a complete set. That is why, if I was you, this is just my recommendation. If I was you, I would pick an artwork that you like the look of and really hone in on that and just focus on collecting a set of those and maybe grading them and getting a set of PSA 9s or 10s. That would be an amazing set to put together. But if you were to try and complete one of everything in this set, you're just setting yourself up for foul, unless you want to spend a lot of money and you just want to buy every hit off everyone, which will cost you tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of pounds. So that's my advice. Do with it what you will. But what do you guys think of this full set? I've gone through the full checklist. We've gone through every single parallel of every single insert and the autographs and the relics. Now, there is something else to add to this full checklist for Chrome Hobby boxes, and that is the diamond pack. There is a pack, there's one pack in every box that is a diamond anniversary pack, and that has its own checklist. So in that diamond anniversary pack, I've made up another spreadsheet. Now you can see why this has taken me a week to put this together. And in here we have the diamond anniversary set, which contains 50 cards. This contains the 20 F1 drivers. I think some of them have multiple images. We also have some legends, including Ayrton Senna's in there as well, which is a nice. It's nice for him to come back. Obviously, he wasn't in some of the other sets throughout the year, but he is in Dynasty and now in this. The parallels for these packs are Night Vision Mini Diamond, Purple Mini Diamond, Blue Mini Diamond, Green Mini Diamond, Gold, Orange, Red, and Superfractor. In those packs, you will hit one of these 50 cards. It has its own checklist, and you only get one pack in a box. As well as hitting those base 50 cards, you can also hit autograph versions. Now, they haven't actually disclosed if there are actual base autographs, like refractor style autographs, but they have put that there are superfractor autographs in those packs. So those packs very quickly could become very valuable. So make sure that whoever's doing your pack break, that they rip that pack open, because it could contain a superfractor as well as a low numbered parallel of an exclusive set. And that is every single possible hit in Chrome Hobby 2025. What do you guys think? I'm sorry I've thrown a load of numbers at you, a load of data, and obviously a lot of colours. I've tried to make this as visual as possible, so hopefully it makes it easier and clearer to understand than looking at all those hit ratios from that other spreadsheet. With this, at least you can see what parallel it is that you'd like to collect a set of. If it's got a colour beside it, that means it's available in the set. If it's blank, that means you cannot hit it in that variant. So hopefully this makes it a bit clearer for you. Now, you can download or make a copy of this spreadsheet. If you're a breaker, feel free to use this. That means that everybody, as of day one, opening the very first box, could have this on a computer or on their phone, and that when they hit a card, they can say, oh yeah, that's a blue checkered flag. I can see the hit ratios of that and how common they are in a case. So hopefully it helps you determine what a card is worth and how rare it is. Or you could just use it as a checklist and tick off the cards that you've collected along the way and put together a complete set. If you do, make sure you tag me in it, because I love seeing your complete sets and what you guys do. Like I say, I would really focus in on one particular either card, rainbow, driver, or insert set or short print set. I would really focus in on that thing and just collect that. If you try and collect the whole entire set, like I say, it can become frustrating and it can make you think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to give up collecting this set altogether. So try not to get bogged down on what everybody else is collecting and just focus on the thing that you really like the look of or that you're enjoying collecting. That's my advice. Now, these are available over at hammondshobbies.com. Feel free to go over and check out my website and pre-order these boxes. Obviously, like I say at the start of this video, it is scheduled to come out a week before Christmas. So just bear that in mind when you're ordering. Some of you should receive these before Christmas. Some of you are not going to receive these till after Christmas. So just bear that in mind. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I've been talking for almost an hour, but hopefully now that you've watched this video, you have a better understanding of what all the inserts are, how hard they are to hit, what the different parallel versions are of each insert set, and what you think you would like to collect, and hit the ground running for 17th of December when we're going to be doing pack openings, case breaks, single sales, slab sales, you name it, we've got it. Join me over on Whatnot. The link is in the description down below. Check out hammondshobbies.com, and I look forward to seeing you guys when the set comes out. See you there, guys. Peace.